guys, my name is Chris the Voice, and this is my final project regarding my master's degree at London for my last course. I am so excited to finally finish this long journey and hopefully graduate this summer. As you can see, this video is recorded from my garden in France. Maybe you can see the mountains over there. Well, maybe the weather is a bit foggy, so maybe you can't see it. Or you can see all the trees. So we've got, this is a plum tree, we've got a cherry tree, we've got strawberry, raspberry. Also, maybe you can see there's no fruits left. I guess the season is over. Maybe you can see out there my mom. She's ironing my clothes, hopefully. Uh, well, anyway, I just wanted you to have a look at my country and especially at my garden for like 30 seconds before telling you what I've done and learned during those 2 years at London in my Masters of Education, Teaching and Learning. Allow me to introduce myself to all of you. So, what about me? I'm born in 1992 in France. I studied in France until my 23 years old and get my teaching certificates there. At that time, I was aware that I needed to experiment more about life and the world education system to become a better person and therefore teacher. To fully understand our world challenges and the education issues across the world, knowing and mastering English is essential. Knowing one language makes you understand your own country and culture. Knowing English makes you understand all countries and cultures. Hence, I took part to a winter program in Tallinn in Estonia, nearby Russia. I practiced my Russian skills, but unfortunately, there is not much left in my mind. Even though the experience was great and it was an incredible chance to be among students from all over the world, it was also an opportunity to improve my English, and this was priceless. After this rich experience, I decided to continue on my travels. I went to Ukraine, Montenegro, Switzerland, Germany, and Turkey a lot. Meeting new cultures is probably the richest things I could experiment. It allows me to discuss with people with different backgrounds and opinions than I, with a different worldviews and ways of life as well. I learned a lot about others and more about myself. At this time, I was used to talk to non-English native speakers, so I wanted to challenge myself a bit more and decided to study in the US. I had, let's say, a pretty decent level in tennis, which definitely interested American colleges. Lander was to me the nicest and offered me the best deal. By chance, Lander got a master in education, and according to my educational background, I was allowed to start this master. I felt so blessed. People in South Carolina were so warm and sweet with me that I didn't need any time to accommodate myself with this new environment. People at Lander definitely made things easier for me. So here I am making my first steps on campus and those tennis courts at Joe Scarberry's Center. We had an amazing season with my Bearcats as we made it to nationals at Denver. As my program was online, I did not attend many classes, but I remember the few that I went. After meeting with my counselor, Dr. Murphy, I chose the following concentration: instructional technology. This choice was pretty easy to make. Living in this digital age, schools are overwhelmed and affected by technology. To be a better teacher, I need to be aware of this world shift. Then I need to know how to use and master those technological tools to be capable of incorporating them into my teaching. In this master, I wrote dozens of essays about education issues and how technology should be implemented in schools. As a matter of fact, the thing that I wrote the most was how important it is to diversify the media's materials and strategy while teaching. To reach each of my students' needs, I do need to use the specific strategy, tool, media instruction that will match my students' abilities. And as none of my students are similar, differentiation is the key for effectiveness. Along those 2 years, I took 2 courses per semester. It gives me time to teach besides my master and experiment with strategies and knowledge that I learned while teaching in class. This part is dedicated to the applications that I discovered thanks to my master at London. The first one is called Quizlet. I use this application a lot this year to support my teaching and help my kids. Let me take you into this fabulous teaching tool. So, as you can see, it allows me to create an online class where my students have to sign up to join a class. So, let's have a look at this class. So, I set up all the words and knowledge that I wanted my students to review and study. So, let's have a look at these lessons. So, it was new words. So, what is good is you can actually have a short introduction about the flashcard that I set up. So if you click,
socks,
yeah, you can hear it. So this is good for my kids because they can practice their listening skills.
skirt, shoes,
So then, when they finish the basic introduction, they can actually start the process of learning. And then they just have to write the right word. People. So I think they have to write it correct twice to finish the game. And then they can, yeah, they can actually work on this.
socks,
Yeah, they have to write what they hear.
glue, shorts,
So I think it's good because
shoes,
it allows them to really work on their listening skills. And this game is really funny. I like this game. It's pretty simple. They have to match the right flashcard with the right word, and they have to do it pretty fast because glue, cube, stone, socks, tube, short, and then they get the time and the fastest. Um, like for example, this one, yeah, the fastest is this one. So I guess it's me. And then what is good is I can see the records of all my students, so they can compare and actually compete. So this is really interesting. And the last game that I wanted to show you is this one, the gravity game. The gravity game, so you can set up the difficulties. So it's easy, middle, and hard, I would say. So they've got like asteroids falling down on Earth. So they have to write the word before it actually crash the Earth. So they have to write pretty easy. So you can see here is the level. So this is the first level. So it's falling down pretty slowly, and then the more you play, the more you gain in level, and the quickest it falls on the Earth. And then if the kids cannot write on time, it crashes on Earth and you lose the game. So I really like this application because it allowed me to satisfy the parents as they were requesting for more homework. Yeah, I know it sounds crazy, but Vietnamese parents are asking the teacher to assign homework over and over. I guess this is a part of the Asian culture, like working hard every day from the youngest age. Hence, Quizlet was a fantastic application to fulfill their request. All the key vocabulary taught in class was accessible and available in this application, and my students could play it every day as long as the class is still open. Moreover, I found out over the year that even parents were playing with their children to improve their English proficiency. The second one is called Weebly. So this is a website that I had to use a lot at Lander to create my own website to post online all the assignments that I did, and yeah, to share all the information and everything that I learned at Lander. I had to create everything on my own and from scratch. So let's say at the beginning it was a little hard for me. But then when you start getting the hand on it, I think it's pretty convenient actually. So let's have a look of one of my website that I created. So this one was an online course that I set up for, I think it was the beginning of the master. It was designed for fourth and fifth graders. So it's like basically students will join like this page and actually take part of the instruction. It was about volcanoes, so you can set up everything you want, like the test, some photos, you can upload videos, files, and everything you need to build actually your online environment. And this is pretty cool because you can diversify all the medias, and that's pretty important to me. So let's have a look like deeper in this course. So it was at the beginning, I set up the introduction and some basic questions to make sure they understand the basic knowledge. I think it was to me important. So for example, the scientific foundations, the definition of a volcano, the structure of a volcano, the different types of volcanoes, the different types of eruptions. And then I set up like a mini quiz like students could take and submit online, and then it would get it to me. So I think it was pretty easy to use, and this is an important criterion to me when you set up an online environment. It must be uh, convenient and easy for your students, especially if they are younger. And then I wanted them to learn the scientific method and its processes like observation, analysis, hypothesis, and conclusion. So I uploaded like two videos about different eruptions, volcanoes, and then they have to download a file that I made. It was like a board, and then they have to observe and make some hypotheses. And then I even create a task like with all the instructions to set up their own experimentations. And then they could even like record themselves and dropped the video, like it can be a YouTube video, Vimeo video, uh, while they are actually doing the experimentation. So this one was an example of one of the courses that I created. I created another one. It was about like TEFL students, so for English learner, like for the second language. Um, so basically, it was the same principles. Um, some modules. So it was based on three modules and then additional assignment. So let's have a look of like at the first module. It was like a reading exercise. I set up like a video, like the reading skills that work. So it was like some advices about like how to read an English text, for example, what is really important and stuff like this, like to give them some strategies. So they got a test and then they got the questions, and all they have to do is to download the question sheet and then like forward to my email. And it was like this to me for the module one, module two, good eyes. Um, so I got like a listening activity, and I think the last one should be a writing activity. Speaking. No, now it was the 10. So they had to use to record their voice. So I try, like, it can be anything on maybe QuickTime Player or Vocaru. And when they're satisfied by the answer, they could like save the recording and copy and paste the link like this. I could like actually check and assess their speaking skills. So this was another website. I've got another one, pretty good one actually. It was for my big field activity. It's pretty huge one. That the last spring that I made. Yeah, it was in the orphanage program. So Um, to summarize pretty briefly this project, I work in this orphanage in Vietnam like for more than 2 years now, and there's no one actually uh, teaching them English. Like the kids, they got maybe 100 kids, and no one can can speak English. By the way, this is my goddaughter, the one that I adopted. And so I decided to set up an English program in this orphanage. So it was pretty hard because I did it from scratch. No books, no classrooms, no materials, nothing. So the I met many like difficulties and problems trying to do this, but I think it went pretty well. As you can see in my work, we did it for 8 weeks, so it was pretty long, almost 2 months. So the preparation week was essential, I would say. Like meeting with the Vietnamese teacher was really important, and try to make them understand that the kids will actually it would be benefit for them to learn English because it may be like a good opportunities for the future. It will open more doors and they will have more opportunities. But for that, they need like teachers and people who are actually willing to spend time teaching them English. So I met some issue, like for example, the grade one Vietnamese teacher did not agree to let half of her kids go to the English lesson in the morning. So we had to find out like the schedule, what was the right time, because the Vietnamese teachers were actually teaching some Vietnamese math and other activities, other courses. Sorry. So the hardest part was to convince them like to give us like the students for 41 hour 40 minutes or 1 hour, and then I had like to make a list of the students. So as I was alone and the kids over there are more than I think 200 kids, it was impossible to teach all of them. So I had to make choices. So I decided like to set up like a nursery group, a grade two group, and a grade three group. Yeah, because the grade one teacher didn't agree to give it her kids. And then I set up like the schedule. Like for example, this one. If I can go down, no, I can't. I can't. So it was the schedule. So we set up English lessons every day. So you've got one class and the second class, and it was the idea was to split the class into two small group. Like I didn't want like any teachers like teaching more than 15 kids in one class. So while one half of the class was actually learning English, the other half of the class was in the Vietnamese class. And then after 40 minutes, we swap. So everything like for the second grade and then the volunteer name. Um, in this orphanage, we've got like I wouldn't say many volunteers, but some volunteers like doing a volunteering job, maybe for 1 month or 2 months, and most of them are French, but few of them are like um, Danish, or we've got some Americans as well. So the idea was to prepare for them everything, literally like everything. Like they don't have to do anything. The only thing that they have to focus on was the activity of teaching. So I set up all the English outlines, the math outline, and the science outline, and then I submit like all the worksheets. So I was in charge of preparing and creating all the worksheet that I thought it was necessary and could actually support the teaching, like to give them materials. This English program was based on the same outlines, I would say, as Cambridge. Like in my company, we are teaching Cambridge program. So I set up English lessons, math lessons, and science lesson. So I did it everything like for the nursery grade, the second grade, and the third grade. And then I tried to record everything that I thought necessary. Then I even post some tutorial videos Like this was some flashcard games that I uploaded on YouTube to maybe sometimes I believe like the explanation is not enough. Maybe if the teacher can actually see the methods um, online and in real, maybe they could apply it better in class. So this was like a game with flashcards. So I took my little girl at home as an example. So I set up all the staff members as well. Yeah, we've got like the director of the orphanage who agreed to let me do this, and all the volunteers, and everything. And then I record like a journal. Uh, so yeah, what is good about this Weebly website is it's keep it on track, which means like everyone has access to this and can check it. And what it was good in this field activity course is we were actually like able to check uh, everyone, like what everyone was actually doing, and it was good to see it over the spring. Actually, it lasted for the whole spring, and it was pretty cool. I really enjoyed it. And the last thing that I use, like, it's pretty convenient about this website is as use it from now on. I've used this website to promote my startup in France. So let me show you. I can affirm that even if it's not related to education, it was a great value in my other professional life. So this is in French. I'm sorry, but this is like the website that I created to promote my activity and my startup. It's basically to send tennis player or any athlete um, to Americans university, like to fund them scholarship to afford university fees, and yeah, to just give them the chance to study overseas. Hey guys, I'm back and I'm running out of time. I know, already 20 minutes. So I'm so sorry, but I did so many interesting things during this master that it was hard for me to sum up all the information in a short video. I even wanted to tell you more, but as I said, I'm running out of time. So to conclude with this capstone project, I would say that I finally feel really incompetent regarding my teaching skills and abilities. I would recommend this master to any teacher who wants to feel less silly or stupid with technology and would like to start incorporating technology in their teaching to be more efficient.